Hey, good morning, guys. Usually do a video in the mornings the last couple of days, so I just wanted to reach out to everybody and say hi and kind of want to talk about something that I feel, I'm kind of thinking about what do I want to kind of share with people and give people some insight on, and I'd like to think that, I've talked to my wife about it, talked to some of the young Marines about it, and just wondering, well, Catalina's going to be growing up soon, and obviously, I want to make sure that she has all the tools to be successful and to be better than, obviously, I've been. And one thing that I and actually yesterday I was talking to someone, and this is kind of why I decided today I just wanted to talk about, like, the power of having intestinal fortitude to just to ask the question. I believe that has made me very successful because I have no fear in asking the hard questions. And I think that's what limits a lot of people these days, is they are so afraid to ask. It kind of, for some of you that know me, some of you that don't know me, been in the Marine Corps 15 years. Maybe it's just been that I've been super lucky and, happened to pick up rank because I was born in 86, March 26th, and joined the Marine Corps, and it was like, hey, you're just lucky. But I don't think that that's the case. Went recruiting as a young man, picked up all my lower ranks, did everything I was supposed to super fast. Went recruiting, like I said, was completely out of my element. Number one fear in people is public speaking. It is very, very hard. It's very intimidating to go out there and just talk to someone random. I know from experience. I know I've heard Steph say it before, like, man, you just make it look so easy. It's not. It's not, even to this day. So went out to recruiting, recruiter of the year, completely crushed it out there. And the great thing about recruiting is it's more everything that you do, you reap the benefits. So the hard work that you put into it, you get something out of it. So going out there and learning how to speak to people, learning how to talk to people and carry conversations was completely out of my norm. Went out there, accomplished great things, got meritoriously promoted, came out to the fleet, went through some things, learned some, things along the way. And now we came out to Toys for Tots. And last year, I don't have any statistics, but I don't think they really have any information on who's ever won it before me. But we ended up winning Regional 5 Coordinator of the Year for over 144 active duty Marines. So that's a pretty good accomplishment. Now, all that information, I want to kind of challenge you, and if you're ever going through a time where, maybe you feel like you need a job raise, maybe you feel like, you've been working your butt off and they're not, giving you the recognition, just ask, have the intestinal fortitude to ask. I'll give you a prime example. So why asking goes a long way. Reached out to a gentleman last year on the phone, had nothing to do with, in face-to-face person. So that kind of really takes, when you want someone to buy into you, really disconnects you from that because you're on the phone. And called this guy randomly and asked him to sponsor us. Nobody had ever called him for something like that. It was a shot in the dark. And initially he was like, that I don't think that's something that we want to be a part of because the company's Red Bull and we have children. We deal with children. And I said, well, I understand that, asked the question, got some rejection, continued to ask the questions, and then started to understand his concerns. And that allowed me to address his concerns. And now this year, it looks like we're going to be, fingers crossed. Well, I know we're going to be sponsored by him, but we're trying to get a long-term sponsorship through Red Bull, so that we're covered. And it's just one of those things where, the power of asking. You don't know what you don't know. And if you want, that raise, or you're looking for a promotion, you can address some of those concerns because maybe he has a misunderstanding of or a misinterpretation of you or what you're about. And if you ask, then that will better allow you to see, oh, well, you know what? He views me like this, but the work that I've been trying to do, I've been trying to, portray myself like this. How do I merge those two so that way he sees exactly what I want him to see? Now, I'm very curious to hear what you guys got to say. But I know it's made me very successful. I've done a lot of good things. I've enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps. I know the civilian world is a different place, but one thing that I have seen from motivational speakers, I watch them too. I like to see what they have to hear, especially when it came to buying houses. I like to hear motivational speakers. I like to hear relevant proof. I want to hear someone that's been through it explain it to me so I can better understand. And I'm all about relevant proof. I'm all about, like, don't be about it, or don't talk about it, be about it. Like, don't tell me, show me. If you're going to show me how to save money, well, then I expect you to have assets that back that theory up. And it shows me that, hey, this is the platform to success. But I hope that this kind of, opened up your eyes to any situation that you're in, the power of asking. Just ask. The worst they can tell you is either rejection or give you the answer that you don't want to hear, or maybe clarify something that you don't want to hear. But that is a double-edged sword. You have to be open for criticism as well, in the aspect of, like, hey, he might point the finger at me and say, hey, this is why you're not getting that raise, A, B, C, or D. This is why you're not getting, extra marks on your performance, A, B, C, and D. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. So please comment down below. Tell me what you think. But again, I want you to realize that the more of this topic is just asking. It's getting yourself out of your comfort zone and not being afraid to ask the hard questions, and that's with life, performance. What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? How can I get to the next step? And I think that'll open up a lot of doors, and it'll really steer you in the right direction. And I will say this, I can wrap it around, like, Marine Corps wise. We used to have a lot of recruiters, and I used to tell them, they would be interviewing these young kids, and I think, this is not different than any kind of sales or any kind of engagement with another person. This is simply selling something different. We sold 4-year contracts. Like, hey, guess what? You're leaving mom's house for 4 years and you're coming with us. Insurance people sell 6 months contracts. Hey, for 6 months, you're staying with us. If you want to move in between time, you can. Marine Corps, you can't do that. So we used to have recruiters that would be like, I would be like, bro, ask the question. And he would beat around the bush. And I would finally tell him, bro, ask the fucking question. Do you want to be a Marine? Yes or no? The power of asking the question, lo and behold, this young man would tell him, hey, actually, yes, or no, or I don't know, or these are my concerns, or this is what's going on, this is how I feel. And it opens up the door for you to understand and see, well, okay, this is why we are not closing that gap. This is why I'm not getting the promotion because A, B, C, or D. This is why my boss views me as such, because he sees or he feels A, B, C, or D. So the power of asking the questions. Ask the hard questions. Don't be afraid to do that. I hope that I shed some light. And if I didn't, well, you can talk shit in the comments, because I'm sure all my friends will. But if not, please tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think. I'm open to criticism as well. And I'd love to hear what you have to say in regards to, just asking the hard questions. I think a lot of people are afraid to do that. I hope you have a good day. Yeah, happy Thursday. Take care.